Apple just released one of the best budget-end iPhone ever, and hey, hear me out before you get on me. I know you feel otherwise, but the truth is that I feel like people expected so much. For some reason, we felt like we knew everything that was to know about this iPhone, and trust me, we did know a bunch of rumors. Most of the rumors that were put out there came true. However, there is one place where Apple stumped us, which I think is the reason why the YouTube tech community is flipping out. But in all seriousness, this time Apple felt confused. It's almost like they didn't really know which way to go. It's almost like they just threw it out there hoping that it stick. But let's dive into it, see where did everything go wrong, or is this iPhone really as bad as everybody think it is? Because in my opinion, it does have a lot of goods, but there is one thing that's pushing people away. Apple just completed the iPhone 16 lineup with the brand new iPhone 16e. Originally, as rumors were coming out, this was supposed to be a replacement iPhone for the iPhone SE model, but Apple decided to ditch the SE models and turn that into a 16e, which I fully support. I like not being confused whether what iPhone models are we on, having to distinguish between the regular models, the SE models. I think switching the name to the iPhone 16e was an awesome idea. If you look at this as a replacement for the iPhone SE line, you won't be the biggest fan, because the SE line was known as the budget end iPhone, because when they were originally introduced, they started off at $399 and then it went up a little bit to $429. However, if you focus on that, then like I said, you won't be the biggest fan, because if we just focus on the design, Apple improved all aspect of the old iPhone SE. By far the biggest change is the fact that now it's no longer that tiny little 4.7 LCD display, because now Apple is bringing it in a 6.1 OLED display, which is awesome. I'm like, about time. When it comes to color options, it's kind of sad, but the color do look good on it. So it comes in white and matte black. Touch ID is gone and that was replaced with Face ID, so now it matches every single other iPhone models. Lighting was replaced with USB-C, which is awesome. However, it does have a lower upload speed compared to all the other iPhone 16 line. So going through all these little physical changes, it's almost like, hey, it's good. It matches the current iPhone line with this new modern full screen design. However, for example, with the lack of colors, it's almost like Apple is trying to get you to push to the next shinier items, aka the iPhone 16 lines, because it comes in all these brighter colors. But I'll tell you why that makes perfect sense later on. But stick with me. If we take a deep dive inside the iPhone, this iPhone is equipped with the brand new A18 chip, not the Pro, the regular one, although it is a lesser version of the A18 because it has one less graphics core. But what's nice about it having the A18, it means it can actually run Apple Intelligence. So all the iPhone 16 line that Apple released, they're all fully equipped with the Apple Intelligence. Another big change that Apple did, they introduced their brand new C1 chip, which would be a chip that's gonna be running all the cellular on the device. And I think this was a perfect way to introduce it, because I highly doubt that Apple thinks they're gonna sell hundreds of millions of this unit of this iPhone. So this is a perfect way for Apple to introduce a brand new chip, test it out, see if it works. But in all seriousness, Apple Silicon is awesome. What it has done with the M series, I can't wait to see what else I'll be able to achieve. However, I think this is Apple playing it safe to see how well it works out, and then they're gonna introduce it to all the rest of the iPhone line. If we go to the back of the iPhone, this iPhone still has one singular camera on the back. However, the camera did get major improvements, because it went from the old 12 megapixels to the now brand new 48 megapixels. However, it's not the same 48 that we see on the rest of the iPhones, because apparently the sensor is a little bit smaller, which means it's not going to emit or bring in as much light as the other iPhone models. However, the way this camera is designed, it's what Apple is calling two-in-one camera system. Therefore, it has a 2x option using digital zoom. But since it went from a 12 to an 18 megapixel camera, so Apple is able to retain that crystal clear quality in your image even at a 2x. Even though it's technically digital zoom, Apple did find a way to keep the images nice. But with the goods, I think that's sort of where we'll leave it at. So it is a gorgeous looking design. It is a modern design. It has brand new chips in it, even though they're not as good as the next one. Remember, Apple's trying to sort of push you to the next one. It still has all the modern technology into it. So now jumping to the bads, there's 3 things that has take YouTube really freaking out. And the first one is this phone doesn't have MagSafe. Yeah, you heard that right. This phone doesn't have MagSafe. And I get it. The tech community is outraged with how can Apple make an iPhone without MagSafe when that's what Apple is known for, is MagSafe. That's what Android doesn't have. That's what we have. Why didn't Apple do it? Hear me out. I get it. But looking at the data, there is about 15, less than 20%, less 20% of the people that actually charges their iPhone using MagSafe or MagSafe accessory. So the way Apple is bringing this iPhone into the market is they're not trying to target these big tech YouTube. They're not trying to target this diehard Apple fan who wants all of this stuff. However, I feel like Apple is trying to target those people who are trying to get into the Apple ecosystem, or those people who just want the latest and greatest without having the most. And that could involve elders, that could involve kids. And trust me, majority of those people are not really gonna use MagSafe. Yeah, I get it. There's a bunch of accessories that rely on MagSafe, and Apple should just put it in there, but I'm sure Apple is running on their own data. They see how many people really charge with MagSafe. And if they saw that nobody or majority of the entry people who are using the entry iPhones or entry level iPhones are not using MagSafe, I don't think we should be flipping out for Apple removing it if it was to reduce cost. But did they really reduce costs? A little more on that later. The next thing is that this iPhone is only 60 Hertz in comparison to what everybody wants, the 120. Hey, again, for tech YouTubers, they can recognize it. They can see the difference between 60 and 120. But if you really give the targeted audience that I just mentioned, I don't think they're gonna be able to tell the difference between 120 and 60 Hertz. So if it does help bring the cost down, I don't see why Apple shouldn't keep it at 60 Hertz. And again, don't forget, Apple is trying to get you to get to the next one. It's trying to push you to make you jump to that next iPhone model. And trust me, everything is about to make sense. Hear me out. But by far what made people mad, what has tech YouTubers calling this one of the worst iPhone ever, it's Apple decided to start this iPhone at $599, aka $600. So imagine an entry-level iPhone starting at $600. Is it even entry-level right now? Is it a budget-end model right now? Or should we just consider as one of the mid-tier phones? So hear me out. This iPhone is starting at $600. But if you add $200 more, you can jump to the base model 16, and that gives you 2 cameras. That gives you all this stuff that they removed. That gives you color options. That gives you the brand new camera control. That gives you 2 cameras in the back and so much more. So the possibilities are endless. And I know $200 is a lot, but with many of us paying our phones in installments, it takes it from $24 to $32. So you look at it like it's just another $8 a month. Can I afford this? And most people, it's like Apple is trying to get you to just see the difference. It's just an $8. I get a much better looking iPhone. I get an iPhone that's equipped with so many more features. So it's almost like they're simply trying to push you to jump to the next shinier model. And even if we go from that to the iPhone 16 Pro line, it goes from that $799 to now $999. So it's another $200. And again, for many of us who pays this phone in installment, it's another $8. So it's like whenever you do go buy this, Apple really is gonna get you confused up. It's like, should I just spend another $8 and get the latest and greatest? Like I said, this iPhone is perfect for the people who are just jumping into the Apple ecosystem. But for the rest of us, it's almost like Apple doesn't really need you or doesn't want you to buy this iPhone, because the next best thing, it's just another $8 a month. And then after that, the next best thing, it's another $8 a month. But in all seriousness, is the $600 price really worth it? Because in my opinion, you can get an iPhone 15 Plus or the 15 base models for roughly the same price, and this iPhone is gonna give you everything that you're missing. But guess what? Apple thought it through, because the base model iPhone 15 or 15 Pluses, they don't have Apple Intelligence. So if you really do care about those Apple Intelligent feature, it's like Apple is like, hey, this is the iPhone for you to get if all you want to spend is that $600. And yes, you can jump to the Pro line. I'm sure it's gonna be another $100, but once you hit that $100, it's like, hey, you can just get the brand new 16, and guess what? It comes with the brand new capture button. Although not a lot of people are a fan of it, but it's like Apple in every single situation. Everything you try to think of, it's trying to push you to that next best thing. If it was me, if it was up to me, instead of buying this iPhone 16e, I honestly would just spend my money either on an iPhone 15 Pro, which is what I still use, or simply just get an iPhone 15 Plus. Because yeah, Apple Intelligent features, they're good, but honestly, we haven't really had anything interesting yet. But in all seriousness, it's gonna come down to you. It's gonna come down to your preference. How much are you willing to spend? But yeah, that's the iPhone 16. Let me in the comments, is this something you would buy? Or would you do what I would do and get another model? Or let me know if you know other models are even a better deal than the iPhone 15 that I recommended. Put that in the comments. And also don't forget to subscribe. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers. Shout out to every single one of you that have been subscribing. Shout out to every single one of you that's supporting me. I got something special planned out when we hit 1,000 subscribers, but we're so close, and I can't wait to share it with you. So hit that subscribe, turn on notification, share my content with your friends, your grandma, your mom, everybody else, your cousin, your third cousins. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers, and yeah, catch you in the next one.